There are those people in this world that you look at and you think, how are you alive? I know, because I'm one of them. In fact, I have survived more near-death experiences than I think 10 people combined. I've been very compelled and drawn, I just can never say that word again. I'm an artist for my father. But I've been very compelled to tell these stories recently, my testimonies of surviving when surviving was really not an option. And yet here I am. You prophesy through your testimonies. I knew at a very young age after surviving a wreck that nobody should have ever survived and coming out with just a scratch on my ankle after aggressively rolling in a car full of glass and broken metal, going 80 miles an hour, 100 feet end over end, 50 feet side over side, and being ejected face first through my driver's side window just before the spoiler came through and would have decapitated me. And I flew 45 feet in the air, landing on my head on a rock. That should have killed anybody. But to only come out with a scratch on my ankle, a broken pelvis, but outside no other bruises, no scratches, no nothing. I knew that day when I was in the hospital with my mom, when the officers told me the story, I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, my life's gonna be pretty hard, isn't it? This is just the beginning of a lot more of things like this to come. She smiled, knowing what I was talking about. And I said, Mom, my life is gonna be a collection of testimonies, hard ones. I'm gonna endure pain and trauma on levels that no human should have to endure. I'm gonna live an entire life full of testimonies that Yah is very, very real. And it's gonna be hard, huh? And she looked at me, and I'll never forget this. My mom is usually the one that, after putting the Bactine on the wound, she would kiss it, put a Band-Aid on it in such a sweet voice, make me think everything was gonna be okay. But that day she looked at me, and in that same sweet voice, she nodded and said, yes, Jet, I'm afraid so. I'm afraid that you're right. And ooh, I was not wrong. You have to suffer for your salvation, and not just for your own, but for others. There's a reason I am an influencer. There's a reason I'm a large creator on this app. It was vital for my father here in the end of days. This is my purpose. This is my destiny. And this was my promise to my father when I left him, the last time I saw him. Well, I see him every day, but you know what I mean. In my home. Because this world has never felt like home to me. Never. It's always felt painful. But I guess a good purpose, well, it isn't ever easy. And just like Yeshua, we saw the pain that man, our Messiah, endured just alone on that day and on that cross. Even he, in fact, he the most, had to suffer for not only the salvation of you or me, but the entire world. And so instead of looking at it as a burden, a painful, so painful life full of burdens, traumas, pains, and surviving things no man or woman has ever meant or thought to or proven to ever survive, I'll never look at it as a burden. I will always see it as exactly what it was, not what it still is. Until my last breath upon this earth, when my Father comes back for all of us, every single thing I have endured, every pain and trauma, it's never been a burden. It's been the biggest blessing a human or a person or anyone could ever ask for in this life. So I have to ask you, because I know I'm not here alone, you know who you are. By now I know you know. My fellow soldiers in Yah's army, all of the things that you've gone through, all of the pains and the traumas that you signed up for, that's part of your purpose, so that you too could testify, so that you could prophesy and prove, yes, in fact, he is real. First of all, have you done that? Please do that. Never let one of the things that you've been through and survived, that all by the grace of Yah, you're still standing here, never let them be for naught. Tell your story. But most importantly, I need to ask you this. Did you let those things make you bitter and not better? Are you being an example that our Father needs you to be? Coming out of all of that pain and that darkness, an even brighter and more beautiful light filled with the testimony of our fathers? Have you come out of the darkness every time, shining brighter and more beautiful than ever before? Are you hiding your light under a bushel? Or are you being the example? And are you being the light that our Father sent you here into this dark, dark world to be? Y'all, even the biggest naysayer can tell you, biblical prophecy after biblical prophecy unfolding, it's almost go time. Yeshua is literally standing at the door. Please promise me that you're not ignoring your purpose, knowing that an entire world might just be watching you, waiting and hoping for an example. Have you come out of that darkness? Pew, pew, pew. every single time. Better, not bitter. Shining exactly the beautiful way that your Father meant you to shine in a world that needs light more so now than ever before.